Okay, so we've got the pressure washer placed. We've got the hose reel all mounted. Let's get your system set up. You need a water supply. It's a standard garden hose thread connection. And you need to route your reject line. Now, my garage, and most of us do, have a sewer vent line for our water heater or water softener or your furnace. Should be in that area. If you don't, you can just tap this into any drain line in your house that runs to the sewer. That's the most effective way to do it. You can run it outside if you want to, and if you can't if it freezes. Okay, so we're going to get those hooked up. Then, before we turn it on and start filling it, this is your interconnect for a single tank. This is actually a patented valving system. It swivels, it's got a valve on it. That's to fill your wash bucket. We don't ever want minerals on our vehicles, and that allows you not to. So we're gonna hook this up between the tank and the pressure washer. When you do this, grab a pair of pliers and tighten them down pretty well, okay? And get those connected. Now, we do not, this is not a self-priming pump. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill this thing up before we try to fire it up. At least get it halfway full. Then we're gonna open the valve, turn on the pressure washer, wet the pump, get it spitting out, turn it off, and connect this real quick, okay? Until you do that, just leave it open. All right, now let's take a look at your treatment system. 3 stages, and the first 2 are already loaded, they're ready to go. So once you get this thing hooked up, let's take a look at our tank. So this is a 45-gallon working capacity tank. The treatment system is all built in. Okay, it's a 3-stage process. Now, and it's all ready to go. We've got our water supply hooked up. Next thing we need to do is set our differential pressure. Okay, so here's my pressure gauge. This is my incoming water. And what I want to do is turn on the water supply and turn this valve off and read what my pressure is. Typically it's 60 psi. I want an 8 to 10 psi pressure drop when I turn it on. Now, when you initially turn it on, just make sure this thing is, halfway open on your discharge side, whatever. Give it about 10 or 15 minutes. You want all of the treatment system, all 3, to be charged and flowing, and that'll take a few minutes, and it'll come right out here at this float valve. And once that happens, just give it a few minutes. Then we're gonna set this and turn that down to so you've got an 8 to 10 psi drop over what your feed pressure is. Then you just let it run, and we're gonna let it run probably about a third of a tank. What we're trying to do, what we're concerned about, is what's going into this polished cartridge and what's coming out. And we want what's going in to be below 10 parts per million, ideally below 6 parts per million. So the TDS meter, this is your out probe, and this is the built-in TDS meter, and the in right here is going to tell you what's going into your polish, and then you flip that switch and it'll tell you what's coming out. The out sometimes it's not that accurate, so if you get an erroneous reading, I include with all my systems a handheld TDS meter, and I'll show you how we test that here in a second. So we're going to let this run to about until our part per million gets below where we want it to be before we install the 3rd stage treatment process. Now, my polish cartridge goes in the white canister. Each system has a set of tools, one for the RO membrane, another for the 10-inch canisters, and all you do is just put that on, take this off, and you want to be a little bit careful. These cartridges are a dual O-ring setup, and the top O-ring will fall off. So just take it straight down and be careful not to drop. You can see that one right there on the ring. Put your polish cartridge in there and put that back on. Once you're down, hopefully below 6 parts per million on your in, and once you do that, you're ready to go. It's producing Ideal Purity wash water. It'll produce up to 150 gallons per day. Again, 45 gallons working capacity. I can wash 4 cars a day with that. Takes about 12 hours to fill a tank. And really, that's about all there is to it. Now, that's for a single tank. If you order a Pro system, all it is just a dual tank instead of a single. So this is just what I call an expansion tank. And it gives you 90 gallons of Ideal Purity wash water per day, as opposed to 45, which you can wash 40-foot rigs with a dual tank. When I wash my coach with a single tank, I run out of water when I'm, I don't know, 2/3 through. It takes about 55 gallons I'll use. I wash the roof and everything, and I've got a big trailer too. So I go through this, but you can get 90 gallons a day. These will fill within 24 hours easily, and you can wash anything you want. That's really about it. Now, if you've got the dual tank, the only difference is the interconnect. Let's take a look at mine. It's actually filling right now. So there's your dual interconnect, okay? And you can see that it's got the patented bucket fill valve on it. This is where your discharge comes out. And the reason that I have the handheld TDS, now there's a couple of different ways you can do it, but I'll just take like a paint cap and I'll fill that up with this water and test it with the handheld just to verify what's coming out, despite what might be in my tank. Maybe I've got some when you initially fire this up, you're gonna have 10, 15 parts per million in there, and then you're gonna dilute it with Ideal Purity water. So there'll be a little bit of TDS in here on your first couple of tanks, and taking a sample from here allows you to just know exactly what's going into the tank. This system here I've been running for six or 7 years now, and it's in just beautiful shape. These things will last a lifetime. But anyway, most of the time, if you feed it with soft water, you're going to get more through a charge than you will if you feed it with just raw water and high part per million. But it's, you get maybe 400 gallons less through it. If you run soft water, I'm typically over 1,800 to, I've gotten as high as 2,500 gallons, but that's kind of rare. Water quality is, believe it or not, is kind of seasonal. It fluctuates a little bit, and it'll affect how much you can put through your system, but it's extremely rare that I get less than 1,800 gallons, and again, I've gotten up to 2,500 gallons per charge, and these things are only 60 bucks, which makes it about an average of 4 cents per gallon. So that's literally all you do. Very simple. If you have any questions, I'm always here. Hope to hear from you. Hope you're having a great day. Todd out.